Namaste, world raisers. Welcome back. Sabine and Roger here. Let's dive right into part number 2 of this amazing documentary.
The beam above is supported by decorative brackets, like in South Indian temples. The projected balcony, supported from the beams by brackets, is similar to those at the palace at Fatehpur Sikri. The sanctum attached to the prayer hall reminds us of churches, especially the plan of St. Peter's Church in Rome.
Been there.
The connected sanctum and prayer hall is uncommon in traditional Indian temple architecture. Inside the sanctum is the marble statue of Sri Ramakrishna sitting in meditation on a full-bloomed lotus, sculptured by the eminent Gopeshwar Pal. The rectangular altar below is designed by renowned artist Nandlal Bose. The front, left and right sides of the altar have swans engraved on them.
Beautiful.
The swan represents the Supreme Self.
Like Vishnu rides a swan.
Oh, he writes that. I thought Brahma was on. Okay, one of them.
The circumambulation path outside the sanctum is highlighted by the statues of the 9 planetary deities, resembling ancient temple motifs. Sun, Jupiter, and Mars on the northern side.
Oh, that's cool.
Why?
Venus and Mercury
What?
Wow.
on the eastern side.
Yeah, why?
Saturn,
Saturn.
Rahu,
It's very cool.
and Ketu on the western side.
I don't know.
The roof of the temple is surmounted by a beautiful pyramidal composition of domes and pavilions. The curves of pavilions are similar to the Bengal temple roofs. The central dome is similar to the dome at St. Maria del Fiore in Florence.
Florence.
Been there.
Been there.
Yeah, we've been there.
The golden kalasha, or holy pot, considered to be an auspicious object, is placed on the top of the central dome. The side entrance gates resemble the elephant gateway of the Man Mandir at Gwalior Fort. Atop the side entrance gates are the images of Ganesha and Hanuman,
Wow.
the Hindu protector deities.
Oh.
The speciality of the Ramakrishna temple is its ethereal beauty and its balance in architecture.
It's on the list now.
Oh, yeah. We must go there.
Behind the Ramakrishna temple is the Math complex. This complex includes 2 of the earliest buildings. The Math office looks after worship in the temples, festivals, maintenance of the premises, and distribution of sacramental food. Right in front of this complex is a courtyard. Once, after meditating in the shrine, Swami Vivekananda walked back and forth in this courtyard and whispered loud enough to be heard. If there were another Vivekananda, he would have understood what Vivekananda has done, and yet how many Vivekanandas shall be born in time? In the eastern end of the courtyard is a mango tree that has existed from the time the land was purchased. This was one of Swami Vivekananda's favorite spots. This tree came to be known as Swamiji's mango tree. On the northern side of the mango tree are steps leading to the old shrine upstairs. In the early hours of the morning, the prayer would begin here with the sound of the conch shell. The monks and devotees would gather here every day to attend the Mangalarati of Sri Ramakrishna. Sri Ramakrishna was worshipped in this shrine till the inauguration of the new temple in 1938. The picture of Sri Ramakrishna was placed here later on. The room on the right was originally maintained as Sri Ramakrishna's bedroom. In this room, Swami Vivekananda entered into deep meditation for 3 hours on the day he passed away. Things used by Swami Shivananda were placed here after the new temple was built. Swami Shivananda was the second president of the Ramakrishna order. On the southern side of this room is a veranda. Once, Swami Vivekananda, in a highly awakened state of consciousness, was seen pacing the stretch of the veranda.
tathapi mama sarvasva Rama kamalelo.
He was like a valorous soul guarding Sri Ramakrishna.
Hanuman.
Outside the shrine, on the landing of the staircase, a small wooden lattice leads to a terrace. Swami Vivekananda used to visit the shrine through this terrace. The building adjacent to the old shrine is replete with sacred memories of almost all the monastic disciples of Sri Ramakrishna who lived here. Swami Vivekananda lived on the first floor of this building. Objects and articles used by him at different places have been collected and preserved here. On 4th of July 1902, Swami Vivekananda passed away in this room. He had once told one of his brother disciples that he would remain in this room in subtle body even after his passing away.
if we can sit in that room.
Coming down the stairs from Vivekananda's room, a pathway runs parallel to the Ganga towards the other temples. The holy feet of Swami Vivekananda and also of other great souls from around the world have trodden this path. Holy Mother visited the Math grounds in 1898, when Vivekananda collected the dust of her feet and enshrined it in the shrine for worship. Adjacent to the pathway are two big trees, Nagalingam and Bangshi Bhat. They were planted and nurtured under the supervision of Swami Brahmananda, the first president of the Ramakrishna order. The Brahmananda temple stands on the spot where his body was cremated. Swami Brahmananda, who was a spiritual dynamo, guided the Ramakrishna order for more than 20 years. Inside the temple is a marble image of Swami Brahmananda. A small image of child Krishna is placed in front of the statue.
Little Krishna.
Sri Ramakrishna had, at the very first sight, recognized Brahmananda as a playmate of Sri Krishna in Vrindavan.
What? Holy. That's awesome.
On the top of the temple domes are chakras or wheels, symbolizing Vishnu's weapon.
Weapon.
The Holy Mother temple faces the Ganga, the river she adored. The temple stands on the spot where her body was cremated. Swami Vivekananda believed that with the advent of Holy Mother, the regeneration of the wonderful spiritual energy in modern times had begun. Inside the temple, to the right side of the Holy Mother's photo, is a small picture of Ramakrishna, and to her left is a small Shivalinga. A stone figurine of the Divine Mother Durga is placed in a niche above the door. The Holy Mother's last message was, if you want peace of mind, do not find fault with others. To the south of the Holy Mother's shrine, midway to Vivekananda's temple, stand 3 trees that are more than 100 years old. Swami Vivekananda's temple is a 2-storied structure. Upstairs is a shrine in which an alabaster Om is installed. On the ground floor is a marble relief of Swami Vivekananda. The apex of the temple is adorned with a trident. The temple is built on the spot where his body was consigned to flames. This place was chosen by Swami Vivekananda himself a few days before his passing away.
Beautiful.
It may be that I shall find it good to get outside my body, to cast it off like a disused garment, but I shall not cease to work. I shall inspire men everywhere until the whole world shall know that it is one with God.
Oh.
To the south of Swami Vivekananda's temple is Samadhi enclosure. This cremation ground is marked by a memorial stone with the names of 7 monastic disciples of Sri Ramakrishna, whose mortal remains were consigned to flames here. By the side of this enclosure is a cremation spot for the monks of the order. A few feet away from the Samadhi enclosure stands the residence of the president of the Ramakrishna order. Every corner of the sprawling campus at Belur Math is steeped in history that is embodied in its many monuments. Further down south is situated Nilambar Babu's garden house, or the Old Math as it is known now. This was home to the Ramakrishna monastery before it was shifted to the present site. This house is associated with sacred memories of the disciples of Sri Ramakrishna. Holy Mother liked the serene atmosphere of this place. She used to sit on the steps and admire the beauty of the Ganga flowing by. Holy Mother stayed here several times. The room where she stayed is now maintained as a shrine. 1893, summer. Holy Mother performed the Panchatapa for 7 days on the terrace of this building. Panchatapa is an austere spiritual practice in which one has to meditate surrounded by burning fire on 4 sides and the sun above.
What?
In this old math, Swami Vivekananda composed Khandano Bhavo Bandhano, the Aarti song sung during Vesper services in the Ramakrishna order. He also wrote the hymns on Ramakrishna, Om Rim Ritam and Achandala Pratihatarayo. The monastery was situated here from 1898 to 1899. The Holy Ganga binds in its flow the spiritual regeneration of humanity that evolves from both its banks in the forms of Dakshineshwar and Kashipur in the east and Belurmath in the west. The Holy Ganga has witnessed many an ethereal occurrence in Belurmath. Once, Swami Brahmananda had a vision of Goddess Durga approaching Belurmath from Dakshineshwar. Swami Vivekananda also had a vision of Goddess Durga being worshipped in image form within the Math premises. It was decided at once to conduct the puja. Ever since then, Durga Puja has been celebrated here in the name of the Holy Mother.
Beautiful.
Apart from Durga Puja, Lakshmi Puja, Saraswati Puja, Kali Puja, and Shivaratri are celebrated here.
Shivaratri. Coming up.
I guess the same as Mahashivratri.
Wow, that's awesome.
The birthdays of Sri Ramakrishna, Sarada Devi, Swami Vivekananda, and all other monastic disciples of Sri Ramakrishna are also celebrated. The celebrations include special worship, devotional singing, and discourses. National Youth Day of India is observed on 12th January, Swami Vivekananda's date of birth.
Oh, yeah. Ooh. I remember commentators.
Ram Nam is sung on every Ekadashi day. the 11th day of each lunar fortnight. Besides, the birthdays of Rama, Krishna, Buddha, Chaitanya, and Christ are also celebrated in Belur Math.
Wow. It's amazing.
Holy night.
Wow.
Once, in a divine ecstasy, Ramakrishna uttered, "Service to man is service to God." Vivekananda expounded, "You may invent an image through which to worship God, but a better image already exists, the living man. You may build a temple in which to worship God, and that may be good, but a better one, a much higher one, already exists, the human body." 1897, just 2 weeks after the inception of Ramakrishna Mission, Bengal was in the grip of famine. Swami Akhandananda organized the first relief camp at Murshidabad. This organized relief made a significant mark in the history of Ramakrishna Mission. For more than 100 years, Ramakrishna Math and Ramakrishna Mission have been conducting various relief activities without any distinction and have enlightened the world to show an extraordinary ritual of worship. Ramakrishna Math and Ramakrishna Mission run hospitals, dispensaries, and mobile medical units in various cities, towns, and even in several remote villages. Millions of people are benefited by this service every year. This twin organization is also involved in imparting education through formal and non-formal centers, development of rural and tribal areas. The organization also engages in disseminating spiritual and cultural values through publication of books and journals, conducting spiritual retreats and counseling. The multifarious activities of the twin organization are coordinated and supervised from the headquarters. After entering the main gate, while walking towards the Ramakrishna temple, the headquarters of the Ramakrishna Math and Ramakrishna Mission is situated on the right side of the asphalted road. Besides, the Belur Math campus also houses a charitable dispensary, Palli Mangal showroom, Veda Vidyalaya, seminary, the probationers' training center for novices. In this training center, the novices are put into touch with the traditions of the order, along with systematic instructions in the scriptures and philosophy.
Nice.
Wow.
The journey to Belur Math is incomplete without visiting the Ramakrishna Museum, just opposite to the headquarters building.
Oh.
Memories of the great persons connected with the origin and development of Ramakrishna movement are preserved here. The museum has on display some articles and artifacts used by Sri Ramakrishna, Holy Mother, Swami Vivekananda, and other monastic and lay disciples of Sri Ramakrishna. As we witness the exhibits, the history of the Ramakrishna movement and its uniqueness in religious history unfolds before us. The sun is setting in the lap of the western sky. Every devout mind seeks the soothing confines of the prayer hall. That enchanting melody of the evening prayer unfurls a wave of devotion. In the spiritual domain sits Sri Ramakrishna, bestowing his grace upon all. In conclusion, we recall Swami Vivekananda's prophetic words again. The blazing light of universal harmony that will emanate from here will flood the whole world.
Wow, that was so wonderful. That was one of the best spiritual documentaries I've ever seen, right? Just about this place and the history. And I just love how, so many aspects of Hinduism or Sanatana Dharma is included, right? So you have the one disciple was really attached to Vishnu and Krishna. So they incorporated like the chakras on top of his temple. And then the other temple, the other disciple had Shiva's trident on the top. So just no distinction. It's like it's all one. It's all allowed. It's all permitted. It's like, so Ramakrishna being very, knowing firsthand through experience that all paths are, allowed and valid, right? So whatever deity you have a connection to, that's okay, right? So incorporating all of that was just so beautiful.
Yeah, my favorite moment was really when they showed the Buddha and also Jesus there, and they celebrate their birthdays.
Yeah,
unbelievable. I've never seen that anywhere. It's oh my god, I love it. I love it very much.
That was fantastic, right? So divine beings on this world, right? Jesus, Buddha, Krishna, and of course Ramakrishna. Knowing that, how advanced and divine these beings are. And these are like the beings that huge religions were based upon their teachings, right? So, so embracing all of that is just truly, truly wonderful. So I can see, how incredibly powerful just to be in that environment and just everything they're doing in India and in the world, right? All the other aspects where they have schools and hospitals, right? And ambulances, right? And then, missions to feed the starving, right? So it's just absolutely wonderful. So good job, Ramakrishna Mission. We hope to come visit you someday.
Absolutely.
Right? And then whoever created this documentary, Belurmath.org, check them out. The Vedanta Movement, check out their YouTube channel, subscribe, and and learn. We got to learn all we can in this most precious human opportunity. So Vivekananda and all of the other Anandas, all of the other disciples, right? Just amazing.
Yeah, I was blown away by this one quote, which of course I can't repeat, so I'm just looking it up. And it was something along these lines. Put God behind everything. Human beings, animals, food, and work. Make this a habit. And then I realized, it's like, oh my God, it's so true, right? We worship God. Like, so many people worship God and, God, the divine being, and they feel so much love and devotion, and they have a really beautiful connection. But then on the other hand, they hate the other people. They hate people, right? They're really nasty to people. And so on the one hand, there's this love. On the other hand, there's this really... how do you say? Help me with a word. I don't hate. I don't like.
Opposite.
It's like the opposite, which is really interesting. So he says, put God behind it. Almost like other human beings, animals, the planet comes first, and if you worship them, you automatically worship God. Like you not worship, like care for them, cherish them. Then you automatically cherish God and worship God.
Yeah, so we're serving God by serving each other, right?
Unbelievable.
And then saying how he wants the whole world, to know that it's divine. The whole world is a divine creation. So we're all divine in reality. So he's saying you can create an image of God, but a better image is, the image already created. The human image is a divine creation. So just incredibly potent spiritual teachings there to understand that we're divine, and these realized beings who attain oneness or unity with God and realize that self-realization, they know it, and they're trying to share it with the rest of us ignorant beings that, hey, you guys, you're all divine. So then we can look at these enlightened beings and say, oh, they're divine. And they're looking at us and they're saying, well, you guys are divine too.
That's
right?
True.
You guys are divine. So we need to treat each other like we're divine. Right? And then imagine a brand new world, right? If we all align ourselves, with the Ramakrishna mission, is also to be aligned with whatever, organization is trying to do similar things. It's like, we always tend to, with our dualistic mind, we always want to tend to adopt something that's good and true and wise and meaningful, right? And of great benefit to us. But we don't realize that, another organization, we see them as separate and opposite. And, they're not as good. But we have to embrace all of these organizations and teachings, right? So, and let go of the conflict. It's like,
Stop it.
Even like on the global scale, if the religions could do that and say, hey, okay, you're seeking God that way, through whatever path is offered by that religion. And then, we have to let everybody seek in their own way and accept that there's many ways. So it seems like this organization definitely knows that, even just on the temple, incorporating all religions in there. I've never seen that before either. So.
No, I when I first saw it, I thought, this looks like a church. But I didn't want to say it because I don't know, maybe people are offended. But then they said it's part church, part Buddhist temple, part this, part that, Islam. It's incredible.
Yeah,
What a design.
Totally reminded me of a cathedral, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, unique. So good job. The engineer, the designer, and the inspiration, Vivekananda, fantastic.
And then they had like the planets in there personified. So if you can clarify that.
Yeah.
And also they, after that, they were saying some other names which I've never heard before. Definitely not planets as we know it.
Some other deities, maybe.
Yeah, if you know. Or maybe realms, I don't know.
Yeah.
Or maybe locusts that we are not aware of.
Could be. Naga realm, maybe, but yeah. Hanuman and Ganesh, and just all aspects of Hinduism.
I love it.
It
I
awesome.
get excited.
So we very much want to go there someday. So if you want to help us go there someday, you can support us by hitting that like button if you haven't already done so. Subscribe. It really, really helps the channel. And the best way to help our channel is to just watch spiritual videos with us, because as we raise our level of consciousness, as we seek the truth by watching these spiritual videos together, we create that. We become connected. We become one. We become loving and caring and kind. Engage with us in the comment section. Let us know what you think. And most of all, remember, raise yourself.
And raise the world with all its beautiful, diverse religions leading to the same goal. We love you all. Peace.
Peace. That's great. That was one of our best.
Well, we got really excited
It's one
because
of my
it's like,
it's one of my favorite videos.
wow, all religions together. How rare, unfortunately. Wow.
Truly, truly, truly inspiring.